All right, ready. All right, guys. So we're here for another part of the Team APS Community Tournament with my friend Snowflarkly. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, I'm back, y'all.
So today it's my match versus it's me playing. I'm playing its reversal quiz. Curse Thunder. We saw them last time. I'm playing my Odd Eyes dot deck basically. I actually do like. I expected a little bit more Odd Eyes players in the tournament, but I think other than me and Oyston, we didn't have a ton of. We didn't have as many Pendulum decks as I expected. I expected a lot more Magic Vector players, to be honest. So unfortunately, you guys get to see my hand. So I actually didn't open too poorly, but he opened with a Kargi, so he activated it, and for obvious reasons. And he drew 2 cards, and I'm surprised he didn't set. I was always surprised he didn't set anything. So I pretty much have the ideal hand here. So Ninja, what do you think? A lot of these new Pendulum decks. I mean, I know you're kind of one of the older school players.
They're kind of interesting. It's the thing about Pendulum decks is they got a lot of power to them, and it can be overwhelming. But I think they also have a lot of. I kind of like that they have built-in mechanical weaknesses. Honestly, like I wouldn't say it's not. I wouldn't say it's healthy for there to be like built-in really bad mechanical weaknesses in the game, but it kind of serves as like a necessary evil now to balance it out. Like the fact that anti-spell fragrance can just end Pendulum decks' days.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, things like macro, not letting them go to the extra deck and whatnot. Like it's really awful, evil things that like normally we wouldn't like that. Like things getting, but it's kind of like a necessary. So it keeps them balanced. And so with, you know, because of that, I have no problem with them.
So I decided to Pendulum Summon for 2 and attack with these 2 monsters. Draco Slayer is one of my favorite the newer Pendulum monsters because it allows a lot of searching. So I Synchro Summon here. A lot of the Pendulum tuners actually have restrictions. Like Draco Slayer can only be used for Draco Slayer type extra deck monsters. So I like that at least like with some of the new Pendulum monsters, they're at least giving them some sort of restrictions. So he activated Pot of Duality here. Oh, he's got his spell book of the one that organizes the top of the deck and the Curry Photon. So I actually got 2 out of 3 of those cards that I kind of knew he was going to add one of the 2. So he's going to add the Curry Photon.
Ooh, he must be looking to get his life points right in range.
Yeah, because my thinking was when I started the duel was I was thinking I do not want to put more than 1 monster on the field, and I want to have something that has some sort of negation type effect. Because I run one of the Odd Eyes fusions actually can negate things, and I run Apex Avion, which is like can negate things as well. So, all right, so I'm thinking. I think when I went to this point, my main thinking was I wanted to find a way to use Ignister's effect, because Ignister actually is sort of like a Castell. It spins monsters when it by popping a Pendulum monster or card in the Pendulum zone you control. So it's a pretty good card. All right, so I'm trying to. One of the weird things about Diet is you can't just add a card from the extra deck to your hand. So I went ahead and activated. Now I was thinking about Pendulum Summoning, but I wanted to activate Ignister first, or Dragon Pit first, which is the one on the right, the 8 skill. It's an MST. It's the reason you don't run MSTs in the deck usually, at least in the main board, because you have cards that act like MST. So I went ahead and wanted to spin the face down card, and I'm guessing he probably will chain it. Because I'm assuming a lot of people. So I thought for a minute like he would know what it did, but I'm assuming like he kind of read it carefully. I accidentally changed control. Like I'm so bad at this game. It's like misclicks for days. So he went ahead and gave it back to me because I meant to click go back to the extra deck because.
Hey, it happens. That's the DN life.
So I went ahead and just attacked directly. The good thing I got his back row out of the way because that meant I got him down to 1800 and I went in just past turn. So I didn't really open with a ton of back row because I think I only run about 5 traps total in the deck, so there wasn't a lot for me to really set anyways. And so I'm assuming he didn't have any kind of like, he's one day appeasing me here, which means I can't game him next turn. That's a card I feel like.
1 day a piece is super nice.
I feel like that's a card that's always going to be at 1 because there's just so many combos there's so many like, nasty FTK decks that card like just benefits.
I was about to say, if you could play 3 of them, there'd be a lot more reason to play this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we already have like nasty stuff like Chicken Game Pseudo Space. So he discarded the Curry Photon. I guess like he must not have a great hand if he's discarding that. So I draw the Joker.
The thing about it now is where his life points are, he can't use another Curry Photon.
I attacked and I forgot about Peace and I was just like, oh yeah. And he banished it. Just remind me. I was like, oops, I forgot.
Yeah, he can't use Curry Photon at this point, so there's no reason to keep it.
So he got I had Joker in hand, which is basically like the Stratos from it actually searches a pretty large volume of cards. It searches Performa Pals, Odd Eyes monsters, and Magicians. So it's actually a really good card.
I kind of like that about this Magician deck is that it goes with like the Performa Pals, the Magician, and like they're all one thing, even though they're kind of different.
Yeah, like if you look at the OCG, like even though they're not running like a lot of the Odd Eyes cards, like they're running like Pendulum Wizard. Like the main deck right now is Performa Mages and like it's like Mages and Pals is what they call it. It's basically like Performa Mages and Performa Pals put together, and that's like the top tier deck over there right now. It's basically like a rank 4 spam version of the deck.
I have like that about a lot of decks lately is like we always talk about when a deck just gets like overloaded with a lot of stuff, but kind of how they've been doing it with a lot of decks lately. I'll take Red Eyes as an example. Like they just like fill it with tons of new supports cards, but really it's like so much that you can't use it all together.
Yeah, like with the new Red Eye support, when I built the deck, like the first thing I did was like I realized you had to run the older vanillas, which is good and a bad thing, but in order to actually utilize the new fusion spell properly, you have to run Red Eyes. You can't just run the new Gemini's. You have to run because they're not counted as vanillas when they're in the deck. So, but I'm glad it's sort of like the Blue Eyes support in the structure deck. To me, that's how I feel about it. It's not like a really big problem. Here I went ahead and normal summon the Joker because I knew since he had a set card I was gonna Ignister the back row, and I felt like it was a pretty safe thing to go ahead and get the Odd Eyes in my hand. And I went ahead and activated Ignister because Ignister has another effect where it can special summon a Draco Slayer monster from your deck, but I don't really use the effect that much. He went ahead and chained the Wabaku, unfortunately. I guess, I could have made Vortex Dragon, but I didn't really think it was a problem, especially because now Dragon Magician is the other Pendulum Tuner we're going to be getting in the future, and it's actually a pretty interesting card.
Oh, I haven't seen him yet.
What it does is it's a level 3 tuner, and it can target an Odd Eyes monster and special summon from your grave or hand, but if it synchro summons with a non-Odd Eyes monster, it goes to the bottom of the deck, plus you can only make Dragon-type synchro monsters with it. So it's got a pretty decent share of a lot of the Pendulum tuners we have currently have a lot of restrictions.
I kind of like that though. It stops them from going crazy, but it lets them still be useful in their deck.
Mm-hmm. I was in kind of a bit of a predicament here because I wanted to make Vortex Dragon, but if I knew if I did, I was setting myself up to be Lava Golemed. So at this point I was in a bit of a predicament. I wanted to make the Vortex Dragon, but I didn't. All right, let's keep going. All right, so he set 2 trap cards, and I guess I'm trying to attack again. And he chained Hope for Escape. So I'm assuming he's probably not in the greatest situation if he's having to chain Hope for Escape in this scenario. All right. So I just let it go ahead and resolve. So he's going to draw quite a few cards, though, off of that.
If he doesn't have the combo, he should after this.
Because unless he top decks, like he has a Wabaku set, which he clearly doesn't, or a Swift Scarecrow, he draws a Swift Scarecrow, it's still game.
Yeah, if he doesn't chain anything to Hope and lets it resolve.
Yep, so we're going to game 2. So I went into game 2, and my thinking was, because you're obviously going to see my side decks, the first thing I immediately decided in was the Royal Decrees and the MSTs, and I thought about maybe side decking the Effect Veilers for the Cards, but I thought it would have been a bit overkill, and it really would have been pointless to side deck something for just 3 cards. But I think I made good decisions. So I went. So this is going into game 2. So I actually opened pretty decently, but he decided to go first, and he set a cards and passed turn. So my first thinking is I want to get the Vortex Dragon on the field as quickly as possible. That's the Odd Eyes Fusion that negates cards. Because
yeah, that would be really good.
My thinking was, before I started the match, was I wanted to make sure, I wanted to pretty much, the way I thought I could win was just to sit on something that, an effect monster that has a negation effect, like Apex Avion, which I didn't make, I only run 1 copy, but it didn't really peak out the whole match. I've always liked Apex Avion as a card. I feel like it's kind of like Falcon. It should always see more play. So I went ahead and summoned Joker, and I'm going to go ahead and search the Odd Eyes off it. So I have
Now, wait a minute. He went first, and he chose to go first? Huh.
He chose to go first, which is, I guess they normally don't go first.
No, normally the second card's more important. I mean, it's not like you're going to play... It's not like you play Solemn or something to stop your opponent.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of those decks where you need the second card.
Oh yeah, and it's one of those decks where you gain no advantage by going first.
So I went ahead and added the Odd Eyes Fusion. So, and I'm saying like I was saying, the main thing was I wanted to get 2 monster. I wanted to get a Vortex Dragon on the field as quickly as possible. That way I had some sort of negation. Because Vortex Dragon's kind of an interesting card. It negates by shuffling Pendulum monsters from your extra deck back into the deck. So it only has as many negates as you have monsters in the extra deck. It does have a compulse effect when it hits the field, but I don't use it all the time. So
that's a pretty good card.
I'm attacking here, seeing if he's got anything to chain. Assuming he's got like a couple Recklesses, I'm just going to let them resolve.
Yeah, I was about to say, if he sets 2 cards on the first turn, he's got to have the Reckless. I don't know, though. If you negated those Reckless, it would have put him in a bad spot.
Well, I've only been able to negate 1, so I don't know whether it didn't really see the point of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And I only had 2 negations in my extra, so...
And it doesn't matter, because, I mean, if you keep your if you don't summon another monster and just keep it Vortex Dragon, you can, you'll have a guaranteed stop to the quiz.
And there he's got the quiz and the Phoenix and the Scapegoat.
And that's the other thing. If you negate quiz, he still pays the cost.
Which is
so
nasty.
That's basically the end. That's basically the end.
So he added the Scapegoat. I'm assuming that means he probably doesn't have the combo pieces in his hand. If he's adding Scapegoat, he's adding stall cards. So he's got 7 cards in hand, so he's probably going to set the Scapegoat and a few other cards.
Well, he's got to find a way around that Vortex Dragon.
Yeah, because he can't win with that card on the field. That was one of my main plans before I started the match, was to make Vortex Dragon or get Avion. Oh, Volcanic Queen. Wow, I remember this. So
Yep, that's why you play Volcanic Queen, though, because if you only play Lava Golem, then they can just sit on the 1 monster. Queen can take out, Queen can be the 1-for-1.
So he went ahead and he's going to tribute off my Odd Eyes with Volcanic Queen. Fortunately, I was planning on using that most of the game to actually... Fortunately, he got it off the field. So, I've never read a lot of Volcanic Queen. I don't remember a lot of the other things that it does. You have to tribute off another monster during your end phase. You take damage. I don't remember quite how I got rid of it, but I remember it didn't sit on the field for very long. Okay, so so I still have the Volcanic Queen on the. Oh yeah, you can actually destroy a Skyark can destroy any card on your field. So that's what I did. I actually just destroyed the Volcanic Queen with its effect and got the search. So that was an easy way for me just to get it off the field and not have to deal with it anymore. What did I search? I searched another Odd Eyes. Okay. So I'm curious. I don't. So I went ahead and Pendulum summoned here. I believe I went for 2. So I wanted to get a rank 7 on the field. So went ahead and tacked with Odd Eyes, and I'm assuming he had some sort of back row to negate it. I don't know what he was doing here. I guess, okay, yeah, he took the damage from Odd Eyes.
Hey, Volcanic Queen, he's not playing Volcanics.
I know, right? It's like where's the Volcanic Doomfire? So I forgot the Odd Eyes had already attacked, but my main plan was to go into the rank 7 that the deck had, because they actually, the rank 7 for the deck is really good because it actually sort of like Utopia, but it can special summon when it negates an attack, it can actually special summon an Odd Eyes monster from your graveyard. And a lot of the Odd Eyes cards don't have like those, don't have restrictions. Like you can special summon them from the graveyard as much as you want.
Kind of reminds me of a Galaxy, like the Galaxy card
Yeah,
that
so-
just brings back the dragon the whole time.
So went ahead and ditched to pop the other back row card, because if it was something like a Wabaku, might as well. Although I think he would have already activated it. I'm guessing the reason he took the damage from Odd Eyes was that he wanted to get his life points down for the reversal quiz combo. Because he didn't want to take like too much damage. Like he would have put himself at 500. Yeah, it was another scapegoat. And my thinking here was, with this monster actually has this Odd Eyes XYZ actually has a pretty nice effect when it hits the graveyard. I got to draw Pendulum Wizard, which is pretty cool. Let's see. I believe here I didn't summon any more monsters, but I was debating whether to bring out Vortex Dragon from the graveyard or not. I probably could have made Flare Metal there and it might have helped, but it probably would have just helped my opponent inflicting burn damage. So I decided to Pendulum Summon here. Curious as to why. So go for Odd Eyes. And...
Hey, you wanted to show off the power of the deck.
Oh yeah, the reason I wanted to get off Odd Eyes was that I could search. I still had some search targets with the field spell, so I thought it was like I can get 2 tokens off the field for the price of 1, and I can just get Odd Eyes off the field so I don't get Lava Golems, which makes sense. Which I actually like Skyark. It's a really cool card because the fact you can just tribute off, like destroy any card on your field, like it wouldn't have really. I can get rid of Lava Golem really easily. So now he's only got 1 token, and I'm at a pretty good spot here. I guess he must have bricked pretty hard if he had double Scapegoat.
Well, yeah.
Now there's a Shuriken. There's a card car.
I would be an advocate of not running Scapegoat.
Yeah, I can see why. I mean, like we saw in the last match he had where he ended up like losing because of Gaia Dragon.
And because of that ruling where he can't activate it. Of course, he didn't know that, but I mean, once he knows that, I'll give him a little heads up personally.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't want to go to a YCS with that deck and be like, man, I'm gonna do so good, and the judge is gonna be like, whoa, you can't play that card.
Yeah, I mean, like. Good. I mean, I'm going to regionals in a few weeks, so I'm looking forward to that at least. But I guess it's a good thing to know a little. It's like there's a reason why when I hop on DN, I literally will have my description will say know your rulings because like there's so many like just. I understand why a lot of people don't play on Dueling Network because of that. But
yeah, it's kind of weird because I know a lot of really obscure rulings like that. Strangely, and I still avoid.
So I went ahead and normal summon the Pendulum Wizard to see if I could get some damage in, because I think I still had at least 1 more target for Skyark. So I wanted to see if I could get game-ending damage in here, but of course he has the Curry Photon, which is not good for me. Just no bueno. So like I said, I'm going to activate Arc and send Pendulum Wizard back into the deck, back to the extra, and then search off and Fusion Spell. I believe that's the last target. Because with a lot of the OCG cards, you don't have to run 3 Odd Eyes, which is really nice because you don't want to clog your deck with too many high-level monsters. Alright, so I'm assuming here he's probably got mostly stall. He might have the entire combo. Yeah, there's the spellbook. He's got organization. He's got the combo ready to go. So remember in this scenario, I was like, I could probably lose if he gets everything he needs. Usually with organization, though, most people actually reveal. I believe it. I don't think you have to reveal to your opponent, but usually people don't draw cards. They usually banish face down. And this was kind of where we got a little confused on rulings. He thought off of Reversal Quiz, you get to add the card off the top of your deck, which would be kind of silly, especially because it was a card car. So he only had 1 Shuriken here, so I don't die, but I came kind of close.
Oh, he did the combo without killing? He must have... Oh, yeah, it looks like he had nothing to stop you from beating him.
Yeah, I think that was the problem, was that he had nothing, so you had to get the combo ready to go. That's why we had a bit of a ruling confusion here, because he thought he got to add the card off a card because he wanted to see if he could draw into something that would keep him from losing. But we had a bit of a ruling confusion here. And I remember I think I'm gonna fast forward a bit, see how far. Yeah, because I was asking Giant Order in the.
Yeah, it's just revealed. There's no adding.
Yeah, it doesn't add. Here's it.
Yeah, he was in desperation.
Yeah, he was in desperation to draw 2 cards for free.
Desperation to get a Scarecrow and try to come up with some way to beat you.
Mm-hmm. So here's basically where the duel ends. He has no cards in hand, so I'm just like, I can just put everything on the field and win now. So I was pretty much.
If you stop that quiz play, that's where it ends.
Sinfear, pretty much he didn't get. I guess he just didn't have any stall cards, so he was kind of basically forced his hand. Pretty much after this point, I was able to splash all the monsters in the field. And finally get enough. Even if I hadn't had enough monsters in my extra deck, I could have made Flare Metal and just he would have been in a really bad position there. And that's the game. So that's my first match so far in the tournament.
Yeah, I'd say a big problem of it is I definitely saw some stuff like 2 Feather of the Phoenix. If he's running 3 Spellbook Organization, which he should, you don't need 2 Feather of the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of building mentality is what'll get you those brick hands like that. You need more focus on your Wabukos and your Hope for Escapes and your Reckless. And yeah, it can get. Yeah, it also seemed like I imagine Volcanic Queen is a side deck card, but if it wasn't and he was playing Volcanic Queen and 3 Lava Golems, that's also bricky overkill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2 Lava Golems. 3 Lava Golems is already too much.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think his build might have been a bit bricky. But, I mean, he had a hand with, nothing but spells. That's why he had to try to game me that turn. And
he had to do something. It was a desperate, it happens. It can fizzle out. It can.
All right,
just
guys,
like any deck can.
So that's the second match of the tournament. So tune in next time. We have upcoming. We have Ninjas versus Heroes coming next, and then after that we will have Heroes versus Battle in Boxes. So go ahead and tune in for that. So anyway, guys, as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. This is Aura Storm signing out.
No.